Welcome to Self-Publishing with ALLi, proudly sponsored by Publish Me, helping indie authors succeed globally with expert translation, tailored marketing, and publishing support. From first draft to international launch, Publish Me ensures your book reaches readers everywhere. Visit publishme.me. And now, here's your host for Self-Publishing with ALLi, Dan Holloway.
Hello and welcome to a very scratchy sounding and probably fairly short self-publishing news podcast, as I have spent the last week coming down with and in the throes of a particularly nasty flu bug. So apologies for the sound of my voice. I would always apologise for the sound of my voice, but particularly apologise for the sound of my voice right now. I know that it sounds like I have been getting too familiar with some sandpaper. So I will keep things brief, and this week's news is dominated by very sad news, and that is news of the death of Porter Anderson. So Porter, bless him, was the editor-in-chief of Publishing Perspectives. He is someone that all of us in the indie world will have read many, many times. Many of us will have met him. I met him on a number of occasions over very many years. He's someone whose opinion I always sought out, whose views I always respected, someone with whom it is fair to say I sparred at times, but whom I always felt the greatest affection and respect for. And that, I think, is how most of us thought of Porter. I want to read a few things that people have said to me, all of them with permission to quote, about their memories of Porter. So I want to start with our own Orna, who said, "The news of Porter's death has shaken the indie author community, particularly those of us who were around for the beginning of the digital publishing revolution. Porter brought an unusual combination of smart intelligence, editorial rigour and big picture opinion to everything he wrote. Not to mention a formidable work ethic, a scathing sense of humour and a deep kindness under the jokes and joshing." And I think for me it was that mix of, as Orna describes it, scathing sense of humour and deep kindness that I will remember most. My dear friend Rohan Quine, a fellow ALLi, puts it, or reflects, "I first met Porter in New York at Tools of Change in 2013 in a Midtown hotel conference room. I happened to sit at the next table to his at the front of the audience just when he was putting the final touches to a kind of nest he'd built around him. It was a NASA-style array made of laptops, mounted tablets and cell phones, coiling cables and well-filled coffee, all emanating an impressive aura of serious business and twinkly urbanity combined. The classic Porter cocktail." So yes, again, Porter was many, many things. The one thing he was not was one-dimensional, and that comes across in everything that everyone says about him and has said to me about him. So if an additional message from Joanna Penn, obviously huge figure in the book world, and she paid tribute to Porter like this. "Porter was one of the first people in traditional publishing to open up to indie authors. He was always curious about what we were doing and always respectful about our choices, and always had a wicked sense of humour when I met him in person at conferences." Yes, I will remember his wicked sense of humour, and it really was and could be wicked in the fullest sense. His barbs were Capote-esque at times. He never shied away from saying what he thought, and well he might have done. Amongst his many other achievements, as alongside Publishing Perspectives, of course, as a reporter, I will probably know him best as the person who put together the Hot Sheet with Jane Friedman, which is one of the most crucial sources of information for everyone in the publishing world. So rest in peace, and rest with your nest of contradictions and delicious depth, Porter. And thank you for everything you have done for all of us on a personal and a professional level. How do you follow that? I will follow that very briefly by talking about a fascinating post on Spotify's end-of-year roundups. So Spotify Wrapped has just come out. As many of you will have noticed, you will have been going through your own Spotify Wrapped for the year. And when I was looking through what they might have to say about Spotify Wrapped, I came across their thoughts on the year in audiobooks and the trends in the year in audiobooks. And it will be no surprise to anyone that dominating the year in audiobooks has been romantasy. They also say spicy romance as well. And the two series of books, of course, Rebecca Yarros's Fourth Wing and Sarah Maas's A Court of Thorn and Roses, absolutely dominating the charts over at Spotify. Really interestingly, also music memoir has come up, but also what they are calling dystopian anxiety. So these are things like 1984 and Brave New World. And they are sort of also highlighting the importance for the coming year of horror. So that's something that we have not seen for quite some time. I've been used to things being dominated for many years now by cozies, as the world has seemed scary. So for many, many reasons, but in particular when COVID hit, it seemed people really didn't want to know about dystopia. They didn't want to know about anything particularly scary from their fiction. Instead, they wanted cozies. And so the cozy mystery in particular has been going through a massive surgent spell led by authors obviously like Richard Osman and many of our own ALLi people. So that maybe is beginning to change, and there is more of a desire for readers to take a darker turn. So that's something as a writer and also as a reader that is I find particularly encouraging. So as I noted in my column, I was writing this while watching the final season of Stranger Things, which is very much not cozy, and feeling that, and indeed this afternoon from my bed, I have been watching YouTube videos of Mark Kermode talking about the importance of The Exorcist. So it feels like these sorts of things have been missing from very, very popular culture for a few years, and maybe they're coming back. So that's a trend for you as writers to be picking up on for the year to come. So I will leave it at that. I will see if I have any voice left, and I hope to speak to you at greater length next week. And obviously I hope to be speaking to you with happier news as the year draws to an end. So with that, thank you very much for listening, and a tribute again to our late and greatly lamented friend, Porter Anderson. Thank you.
You've been listening to Self-Publishing with ALLi, proudly sponsored by PublishMe, helping indie authors succeed globally with expert translation, tailored marketing, and publishing support. From first draft to international launch, PublishMe ensures your book reaches readers everywhere. Visit publishme.me. And if you haven't already, we invite you to join our association and become a self-publishing ally. You can do that at allianceindependentauthors.org.